What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Welcome to the RNEWS evening show. And let's just jump into it. From r/news, FBI director says Antifa is an ideology, not an organization. Who do you think the next FBI director will be? Joe Arpaio? Kimberly Guilfoyle? Don't even joke, man, you'll speak it into existence. Does the FBI still think the Juggalos are an organization? Considering I have family members that actually went to trial for being Satanists and FBI agents were part of the prosecution's expert witnesses, I find myself often more surprised when the FBI is right about organizations than when they are wrong. Oh, and the evidence used was a coyote skull my uncle found on a hike and cleaned because he thought it was awesome, and the shillelagh they claimed was a priest's staff. Yes, our family is half Irish, so I guess technically they are right, but we haven't had any druids in our family for at least 4 generations before that. Not just an organization, but a gang. Yeah, no. I knew some fools in high school and saw some YouTube vids, and I wrote those fans off as trash, but their decision to cancel their gatherings in the time of pandemic really redeemed them in my eyes. Kudos to reason and sensibility. But frickin' magnets though, how do they work? Wait till they hear about that most dangerous hackathon. But who is this 4chan? I'll do you one better. Why is 4chan? You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Mitch McConnell rams through 6 Trump judges in 30 hours after blocking coronavirus aid for months. Planned Parenthood warned that many of the judges have hostile records toward human rights and abortion. The entire Republican Party needs to be gone forever. How does one person elected in Kai have this much control over the US? This is flat freaking broken. He doesn't. This is his political party that is behind this. He's merely their leader at the moment. Without his party's support, he's merely a mean old man. The US is a crap hole country. This is why I don't give a flying frick if you're not excited to vote for Biden. You're voting to stop what could be decades of regressive judicial purview that will absolutely destroy women's rights, LGBTQ rights, workers' rights, etc. Go vote, and take everyone you know with you. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news, mass parents' new kid had coronavirus, sent him to first day of school anyway, officials say. Parents in my area are actively telling other parents not to get tests. If they do have it, don't tell anyone. This is to help schools get open completely with no restrictions. Then they won't have to parent. Schools equals free babysitters. You don't even want to know how often a student will be sent to the nurse and have to stay there the entire day because the parents ignore the school calling. Sorry, couldn't get Johnny, was busy. Quote, while wearing tennis outfit. It's not about being a parent. It's about not having to talk to your boss about how you have to take 2 weeks off and risking your job over it. I wouldn't do this if it were my kids. But then I have a relatively sane employer who doesn't want to lose me and wouldn't want my kid to go to school with coronavirus or for me to come into work when my kid has coronavirus. Edit. Oh yeah, okay Reddit. You go ahead and risk your job with 3 kids and a mortgage. Let me know how that goes for you. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. Of course doing this puts others at risk. But we have a nationwide massive culture problem in that too many employers are extremely strict about employees using time off by the book. So many people face enormous pressure to lie in whatever ways and situations let them get to work on time for their next shift. Just because you're a parent doesn't mean you live on empty Cadillac with your very own cash cow than eternal rainbow confetti rain. You can't ask people to choose between their own livelihood and the health of others and expect them to make the right choice. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, one of the most callous sentiments ever uttered by US President Trump falsely says COVID death toll not so bad if you take blue states out. Taxation without representation is literally what triggered the revolution. It is constitutional sacrilege for a president to imply they aren't concerned about portions of their tax-paying population. A president is a president of all the states and not merely the ones they prefer. Best comment in this thread. This is so egregious it makes you apathetic about other disqualifying things Trump's done. He's somehow lowered the bar. Again. Trump clearly doesn't understand that 7 of the top 10 states paying the most in Fed taxes are blue states, including CA and NY, which pay the most since blue states don't count in Trump's states of America. All blue states should withhold all Fed tax dollars until further notice. It's not red states and blue states. God damn it, it's the United States. In case anyone needed another reason to hate the Electoral College, here it is. Republican voters' lives don't matter to Republican leaders, more so if they live in a blue state. California has more Republicans than any other state by population. Think about that for a second. Asterisk edit. They say that the first one is the hardest. Thank you, kind stranger, for my first gold. I will pay it forward soon. I don't ever want to hear Republicans cry about partisanship and division again, since north of 90% of them rabidly support Trump. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Family of UPS driver slain in police shootout files lawsuit. Was this the one where the policy took cover behind cars in stop traffic that had families in them, as they exchanged gunfire with someone who had stolen a couple $1,000s worth of packages? It's the one where after they'd shot both bad guys they put a few more rounds through the truck driver and a motorist on the other side of the truck. It would have been better if the cops did nothing. I don't get how even in propaganda shows, the chasers are super dangerous for everyone including civilians, and it's still standard behavior. It's because cops aren't around to protect regular folk. They are here to protect the wealth of the rich and live out their action movie power fantasies. I was struck by this video of a riot cop from months ago. It's like he literally can't contain his excitement and thinks he's in a video game. I'm sure he's even more excited with his pay, calsalaries.com. That was a crazy video to watch. The behavior of the police was inexcusable. I was in the infantry, and if my teammates and I did that, we'd be in Leavenworth right now. Soldiers have rules, cops have qualified immunity. I'm not sure why the police just didn't let him get away. They had a freaking helicopter to chase him. Where was he going to go? You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics. Democrat who oppose equal marriage defeated by gay drag queen in landslide victory. Happily, it turns out that more than 60% of Democratic voters have no issue with drag queens but do take some issue with bigotry. Fricking hold up. Let's recognize that there are some folks who take issue with candidates dressing in drag, but not blackface. Thank you to our donors who believe that political candidates and elected officials can and should be funded by the people. Thank you to the 9 people-focused activist organizations that endorsed us. Thank you to anyone who did anything to support our campaign in the biggest or smallest of ways. He ran a strategic campaign, did quite a bit of shoe leather politics, and supports popular progressive policies. That should also be included as a part of the story. IMO. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like, and if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show, and I'll see you tomorrow.